So with Easter fast approaching, I think it's the perfect time to discuss the garden tractors that look like Easter eggs, the John Deere Patio series. So in order to talk about these John Deere Patio tractors, we're going to have to go way back to the year 1969. Now, this was a year of crazy times. Richard Nixon was elected the 37th President of the United States. With the Apollo 11 moon landing, we had astronauts walking the moon for the very first time. The Woodstock Festival took place, and hippies worldwide united to love one another and listen to some of the best music ever played. And the marketing team at Horicon for John Deere came up with a crazy idea, the Custom Color Series. So the Custom Color Series, which would later become well known as the Patio Series, was introduced in 1969, and there was four main colors that you could get, either your John Deere 110, 112, 120, or 140 garden tractor. And those colors would have been April Yellow, Sunset Orange, Patio Red, and Spruce Blue. Now, in addition to these four custom colors, you could still get any of those models I just said in the traditional John Deere green and yellow. So the idea with the marketing team was that everyone had different tastes and preferences, just like we discussed in last week's video, which was the ugliest garden tractors ever made. Not everyone likes and thinks the same things look good. So they thought by making custom color choices for your John Deere tractor that they would sell a lot more machines and they would be able to market to a lot bigger audience of people. So when you look at the advertising for these tractors, it kind of appears to me that the John Deere marketing team were really trying to get wives involved in the purchases of these tractors, because a lot of men liked the John Deere green and yellow, and they thought that maybe by marketing more towards the woman that they could get them to pick these custom colors, and the advertisements certainly showed that. So these tractors would have been mechanically identical to the green and yellow John Deeres, and the only real difference was the tractors came painted from the factory dogwood white. So it didn't take John Deere very long to realize that painting everything in dogwood white was impractical. So in 1970, they started painting the engines and fuel tanks of these patio tractors black, mainly because they would need a separate paint line to do all the parts in dogwood white. And also, the white engines and fuel tanks showed discoloring and got dirty easier, so they found it better and simpler and more efficient to paint those in black. So the 1969 models would be all white, and then the 1970 and 71 models would have certain parts painted black. And then you could pick, as the customer, a custom color hood and seat for your new custom color tractor. So in 1969, the numbering of these tractors would actually be identical to the green and yellow John Deeres, and there was no way to differentiate or distinguish the color tractors. And therefore, starting in 1970 and continuing in 1971, the color tractors started having their unique numbers on them, so you could easily tell which tractors were destined to be color tractors and which ones were destined to be green and yellow. So although the marketing team at John Deere had big plans and ideas for these color tractors, they just proved to be somewhat of a flop. They did not sell well. And after being made for a 3-year period in 1969, 1970, 1971, they would discontinue these color tractors. And believe it or not, a lot of dealers ended up painting these custom color tractors back to the green and yellow just so they could sell them. So they did not sell well, and they were a unique idea from John Deere at the time, but they just weren't popular tractors with the general public. But if you move forward in time to present day 2025, these John Deere Patio tractors, as they've become known, or originally would have been called the custom color tractors, are really rare, they're collectible, and they're hard to find, and they fetch a pretty penny if you could find one, especially in original condition. One of the hardest things to find, believe it or not, and one of the most expensive items for these tractors is the seat. From what I've read and been told, the April Yellow is the rarest of the colors. I would say followed by Spruce Blue is probably the second rarest, but April Yellow is a really rare one of the tractors. If you can find one, especially with the original seat, you've got something special on your hands. So I guess that leads us to the question, why did the marketing team at Deere & Company choose to do these custom color tractors? And why did they pick those colors? Well, the answer to those questions may never be known. It's shrouded in mystery, but there are a few theories floating around. And one of the theories is that John Deere wanted these tractors to somewhat match their competitors' colors and hopefully get some of their market. So that would have been companies like Cub Cadet, Wheel Horse, Alice Chalmers and Simplicity, Massey Ferguson, Ford. A lot of those colors, you'll notice, are similar to these 4 patio color tractors. Another theory is that John Deere marketing team looked out in the parking lot and they saw different color cars and they realized what colors were popular and they thought maybe we'll appeal to those kind of people. So there's a lot of theories as to why, but if you know for sure, let us know in the comments below. As far as why they became known as the patio tractors, I think that's, somewhat obvious, maybe to me, but patio red, patio tractors, just seems to me like that would be the common answer. Spruce tractors doesn't sell well or sound good. April tractors doesn't sound good. They could have called them the sunset tractors, but I think patio tractors, because of the patio red model, probably just made the most sense. So let me know if you've ever heard of the John Deere patio tractors. Maybe you have one. Maybe you know someone who has one. Maybe you've seen them at shows. Do you think they're cool? Do you think they're ugly? Let us all know in the comments below. Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'd like to invite you to check out some of our other content. We have a lot of videos on garden tractors, and if you're a John Deere fan, you may enjoy this video where we talk about the legendary John Deere 400 series and how they might be the best garden tractors John Deere ever produced. We also have a video where we discuss the John Deere 420 versus the John Deere 318 versus the John Deere 140, and which one of those 3 might hold the title of best John Deere garden tractor ever made. And if you're a fan of garden tractors in general, then we have a lot of other videos on different brands. That's one of the things here at Build a Lot Acres, that we try to strive and cover multiple different brands, multiple years, models, makes. We don't just stick to one brand here at Build a Lot Acres, we discuss them all. Whether it be John Deere, Case Ingersoll, Boland's, Wheel Horse, Simplicity, Steiner, Panzer. We have a lot of different videos on old brands of the past. Maybe some brands that will make you reminisce from when you were a kid and all those years ago. We'd like to have everyone come together in one place and discuss classic garden tractors. We have a lot of different videos. We have everything from the heaviest garden tractors ever made, where we discuss my top 5, the ugliest garden tractors ever made, where we discuss my top 5, and the best looking garden tractors ever made, where we discuss, again, my top 5. We have a lot of content, and we try to keep it creative and original, and it's just content you're not going to find on other channels. It's very unique. And we really, really enjoy talking about garden tractors, but we do have a lot of videos and other things, such as firewood, larger tractors, building projects, and all kinds of other cool stuff. So if you want to check out some of our other playlists, we're going to put those down below in the description of this video, where you can find the garden tractor playlist, and you'll find all the links to the cool videos that I just mentioned. So until next time, have a good one, friends.